I guess if you're on any of the social media or anything like that, you probably already seen it. My dad passed away, and it's weird just saying that. It hasn't hit because I shouldn't be able to say it like that. I think it's, I guess the best way to tell you the story where you can see it is just to back it up and just tell you how it went. I've told several stories. My dad's in the background of it. Me and him doing something, whether it was drag racing or selling a car, or, cussing out rent a cop, or, racing on the street with my dad or something. And the thing I tell people all the time is me and my dad were more like brothers than father and son. And he was my father, and he was there for me, but kind of like the high school story, my dad had no reason in the world to want an SS Camaro. Only reason is because I had a Mustang, and he knew he could outrun me every day with it, and he did. People watch about motivation, they're like, man, you motivate me, Rob, or Rabbit, or whatever you want to call me. And I love reading those stories. I love reading that kind of stuff. It's funny, like, what motivates you? What got me this way? What got you to be that? I get asked that a lot. I'm like, I guess it's just in me. I'm just a salesman at heart. And I am just a salesman at heart. But I think what really built me the way I was my dad. And, like I said, we grew up together. I mean, I think my dad's 20 years older than me. I mean, hell, my parents were kids when they had me, and it was growing up and the thing's crazy. Even when he got older, it didn't change. I was moved out, and I bought a new truck, he bought a new truck. Or if I bought a new pair of shoes, he bought a new pair of shoes. And it's just like constantly in competition with each other, or joking, and all the funny things. No matter, every car ever sold, just luck. You lucked out on that one. Thousands of cars, lucky. Every move I make, he's just there to mess with you. But that being said, everyone knows my father was a big part of my life. When you work with family like that, and if you ever have, you know how it is. They expect twice as much for half the appreciation and pay. And it's hard. And I think back on some of it, and it just, like, why was he so hard on me? Why? I mean, I did things that you just want to ask people to do for my father, and I mean, just every low man on the totem pole job, I did. It wasn't too good to do it or anything like that, but, the boss man's my daddy, why I got to do this? But he did. I mean, he didn't cut me no breaks at all. Me and the guys at the shop were joking about this, and, we got guys at the shop my grandfather hired, and they'll be the first to tell you, I mean, they watched me clean bathrooms. They watched me do things that, I mean, you wouldn't expect the boss man's son to be doing. But that's, my dad told me to do that. That was my job. I didn't walk into a desk job there. I walked into entry level at best. Work, work, work. First one there, last one to leave. And, you think about it, like, I didn't have to do all that. And I didn't, but I did it. Got to kind of earn your keep. And, I learned a lot. Put my hands on a lot of things, and pushing me, just that push always with him. I was always like, why does he push so hard? Like, good, you sold that one. Let's see if you sell the next one. You got lucky on that one. We'll see what the next one looks like. Just prove them wrong, prove them wrong, prove them wrong, prove them wrong. Or, I got this customer. Well, let's see if we can get another one. Don't break your arm patting yourself on the back. Let's move on. Let's get another one. That whole high school football coach mentality, basically. Get back out there on the field. No victory dances here, bud. Got to keep rocking. Just a touchdown, not the Super Bowl, son. Keep moving. Just push, push, push. And then you think back at what I've accomplished. And I'm not, at the end of the day, I'm a glorified used car salesman. But I'm pretty damn good at what I do. I like to think that the reason that when I set my mind to something, it happens is because of him. Because I hear him in the back of my mind, even when he's not there. I'll see what you can do next. I mean, do you think I knew anything about putting on car shows and events? I've been to a few of them. Do you think I slowed me down from grabbing a mic and, hey guys, what's going on? Didn't know nothing about YouTube videos. Didn't know nothing about the radio. I think that has a lot to do with the motivation. I think that's why, we talk about a lot of fun stuff. We have a lot of fun on this channel, and I love to make people laugh. And I love telling you about these interesting stories and these interesting cars. But at the end of the day, if I can just light a fire in somebody, or just make you think, I can do that. Mission accomplished. That being said, everyone knows now that my dad is my hero. We fight like cats and dogs. Just like cats and dogs. And my dad, my grandfather included too, my grandfather and my dad had a work ethic like no other. These guys were sick, they went to work. And, I was the same way, 22 years old. Dad, I don't feel good, I got a cold, so when you coming in? You gotta think about it. I broke my leg on a motorcycle. I was in the hospital for a damn week. Had a cast up to here. And I was sitting at the truck shop still the next week with my foot up on the desk. Why? I could have stayed at home. But he was pushing me. As I think about it, me going for 12 hours straight, that's a normal day. Now granted, I may not quite work at it as hard as I used to, but I'm still going. People are like, man, you're running me to death. Coach, I'm starving to death, But just go. Literally, I go to sleep, pretty much. And it's because of him. Because that's the way he pushed me. That's why I was trained to be like that. That's the way he pushed. It's like collector car sales. I'll be honest with you, you guys will never know the difference. I could sell 2 cars a week. Hell, I could sell 2 cars a month and just float them around in the background. You'd never know the difference. If you're going to do something, you go at it wide open. That whole bulldog in the china shop mentality with me. Granted, I'm a little crude sometimes, maybe even a little rude, but I get shit done. It's very cutthroat. Car sales in general is cutthroat, but this is a whole nother ballgame. And, anybody else dabbles in it, and there's tons of guys that do. And I give them hell, and I call them bottom feeders and all this stuff. You know why? Because I'm the best at what I do, because that man trained me to be that way. I just don't sell cars. I saw, I conquered. There's not one damn human being on this planet probably that sells collector cars as fast or as many as I do. Period. You may have a good week, might even have a good month. Give me a good year. Run these numbers. Can't do it. When you have people that have been in this hobby, industry, whatever, for 20, 30 years, and they're coming up to you like, holy shit. I bring my A game because he told me to push. What do you think I do? You think I just make an ad and put it on Craigslist or Marketplace and by magic it sells? No. I sell those cars. I promote them. I buy them. You gotta have that vision. Just like when I see people with special skills or people with that drive, I see vision. I see what people can do. Just like my dad says in me, just like my grandfather saw in him. Just Another little small tidbit story. So we got a guy who works for a truck shop, been there almost 40 years. My grandfather hired him. It's the only real job he's ever had in his life. He was literally working at the damn cookie company in the mall when my grandfather hired him. Didn't know nothing about diesel trucks. But he's willing to learn, and he had the drive. He's still there to this day at that truck shop. And the best diesel technician probably on the planet. He didn't go to any tech school. Now he's had schooling after, obviously. He was trained in-house and can fix anything remotely. Probably the best mechanic I've ever seen in my life. Because my grandfather saw potential and my dad saw potential. And that's what I love doing with you guys, because I see so much potential in people. People come up to me all the time, and you can see that little fire in their eye, and I can see it. And when I see that, that just turns the heat on me. And I just want to just shake you, and so you can see it. Because I realize how important that little bit of motivation, that push is. Totally changed my life. I could have a mediocre life. I could have a good job, just chilling out, and do any damn thing. I do what I love because I was pushed to do it. Pushed to be the best at it. I could sell a couple cars a month, be totally okay. If I never sell another damn car again, don't matter. But you know what? That ain't gonna happen. One, I got a yellow El Camino just out of sight that's blinding me right now that's gotta go. No, I love to sell, but I love to meet people and I love to motivate. So that being said, about 3 weeks ago, guys at the shop called me up and say, Dad's got a nasty cough. And I don't get to the truck shop as much as I should. I'm usually tied up here with other things, or we're going out of town or whatnot, especially this time of year. I call Dad up and say, what are you doing, Dad? And he goes, I don't feel the best in the world. I said, you need to get your ass to the doctor. He's got some underlying health issues and things like that. And he said, yeah, I know. And they get through all the Easter holiday hoopla. Next thing you know, they're taking him to the emergency room because he can't breathe. They said, you got pneumonia. And, I'm thinking, well, maybe they give him some meds and antibiotics or whatnot and give him a little oxygen, get him nursed back up and be ready to go. Well, we had Pigeon Forge coming up, and we were going to do the rod run and all this stuff. I'm kind of waiting because my dad's in the hospital, kind of waiting, see how he does before I take off and go out of town. We're actually going to leave on Tuesday, end up leaving on a Thursday. And I basically fixed it to where I could leave at any time if I needed to. Well, he actually got out of the hospital. He was out of the hospital for a day and a half. He started having some real bad breathing problems again. They actually had to take him by ambulance back to the hospital this time. The doctor sets us to the side and says that the pneumonia's gone, but his lungs are so weak that he can't recover, that he just can't get the wind back in his sails, no pun intended. And it really did a number on him. And I said, well, what are you thinking? And he said, more than likely he's probably going to be on oxygen if he leaves here all the time. His oxygen level was really low, even on oxygen. He said they were giving him the max amount right then. And just laying there, he was in bad shape. So the doctor set us back down. And, I was ready for, like he's getting a little better or something like that. Because his color was looking better. He looked pretty good. And they said that your dad's probably never going to leave this hospital. And that hit hard when he said that. You got to think about it. I've seen my dad sick as a dog and never stop. And I'm thinking, what do you mean he's not going to leave? And so basically, he has COPD, which that was bad, but he's also got another lung condition. You got to think about the years of breathing diesel truck smoke in a building and painting without a mask on and just all this stuff. And when he said that, all these things are rushing through my head, which he did, basically just killed his lungs. And smoking on top of it, which didn't help. Because like I told the doctor, I said, well, at least he doesn't have lung cancer or something like that. And he goes, I kind of wish he did because we can treat that. We can't really do anything other than give him oxygen and hope for the best, which is not what you want to hear when your dad's just laying there. And I said, what's going to happen? And he goes, well, He said, to be honest with you, he said, your dad's oxygen levels are going to go lower, lower, and lower till he dies. And I mean, I lost it. To think that somebody you love is literally going to suffocate to death in a hospital in the middle of nowhere, Oconee County. I'm like, doctor's got to be something you can do. And he said, there's not. So they basically pumped mass amounts of drugs, morphine to him, basically. Just put him to sleep. And the doctor said that, you know, he's never going to feel a thing. He's just going to sleep it off and just drift right on out. And he said he won't be in pain or anything. And I said, well, how long do you think he'll go? And he goes, it might be a week, it might be a couple days. We just got to keep an eye on him. So I got to sit with Dad all day that day, and we talked. And you know, and he was in good spirits. He knew what was going on, but he was in good spirits. You could tell he was scared. You could look in his eyes and tell he was scared. And that's something I've never seen before. My dad scared of anything. I mean, my dad, pro mod drag racer, and he was scared. Hell, I was scared. Mama was scared. It got to the point where talking was dropping his oxygen. I mean, he'd get about 5 words out, and it would drop to the point where the machine started going ape shit, going crazy. So we just sat there, and I held his hand. Just sitting there looking at me, he'd wink at me. And I hate that because my grandfather did the same thing when he was dying. Just wink at you because he couldn't even talk. It was crazy. I was there all day, and Mama came back, and your mom was going to stay the night with him. So I kissed him on the forehead and made fun of him being bald, and told him I love him. And he couldn't even tell me he loved me back. He couldn't even talk right then. His eyes were open. And I leave and I go home. Me and Mom were texting back and forth while she was there. She said he doesn't look good. And then she sends me a video about 11:30 at night. And it broke my heart watching it.
Hey, baby. I love you, son. Biggest proud of you. Take care of yourself, my love. Please do, son. And take care of your mother. She's the best thing in the world. Okay? You have the manpower, son. I love you.
Probably the best he had talked in days in that video. So kind of, you know, maybe like, I don't know, maybe a little like false hope, a little bit of glimmer of hope. And I was exhausted. I've been going all day long. So I laid down. As soon as my head hit the pillow, the phone started ringing. It's my mom. She said, you need to get down here. He's not doing good at all. And this is about 1 o'clock in the morning. Keep in mind, they're, 70 miles away. So I bust ass back down to the hospital and flying triple digit speeds, 4 ways on, as fast as that damn Silverado would go. I left my truck sitting in the drive at the emergency room. Doors unlocked, everything. I just got out of the truck. Ran straight past the security guard as fast as I humanly could. He was on the 3rd floor, and I took the steps up because I didn't want to wait on the elevator. As soon as I opened the door to his floor, his room is just 318, right there on the right. And I saw two nurses standing out front. As soon as I just crested the door, I saw my mama crying. He died at 1:30. 10 minutes late. He's laying there just peaceful as can be. And the only thing I can think about is that video. When I put my head to bed that night, I never would have thought that's the last time I heard my dad talk. I would give anything for him to insult me right now. Just chew my ass out about something. I tell you what, if you got him in your life, buddy, you tell him you love him. Guys, we'll catch you next time at Rabbit's Used Cars, all right?